Today we're talking to Storm City manager Ian Allinson down at Bullpit Lane, where the Saints have picked up a National League South point with a goalless draw away to Hungerford Town. Following on from a clean sheet against Dartford last week, Ian, it's not been a bad week for the club.
No, I mean, again, we went into the Dartford game, apprehensive in terms of the amount of goals we've conceded, but the last 2 weeks we've been very, very solid, apart from probably a few goalmouth incidences there where corners and things are bobbling around. Rusty really hasn't had a save again to make today, so what he had to deal with he did well, and we probably had 3 or 4 really good opportunities to go and nick something from the game, because at times we was defending quite deep, but when we did get hold of the ball and pass the ball, we created 3 or 4 really good chances, and their keepers probably made two great saves. One of them in the first half was outstanding.
Is that run from George Casey?
Yeah, it was. I mean, obviously from point blank, and it's like 6 yards out. We're thinking he should save it, and he should score, and the lads pulled a hand out from somewhere and just got a hand on it, and obviously tipped it around the post. So then David Noble's hit the bar, and we've had chances in the second half from David Noble again, and from Charlie Walker, where the keepers had to make a good save. We've had shots go over from Sam Merson and from Kieran. So overall, very, very satisfied. And, the biggest thing now is we've gone and had another clean sheet, which is important.
Hungerford put a lot of pressure on you when you're on the ball, and when they get it forward very quickly. You don't get any time to relax.
No, we knew it was going to come here. It was going to be a bit like having to defend quite deep in terms of the way they play. They've got a system that works extremely well for them. And you've got to come here and you've got to dig in and you've got to go and win big headers and clear your lines properly, and when you get a chance to play your football you have to do that, and I think we did that. I mean, at times today it was a little bit Alamo, and it was a bit corner after corner, but the players have defended really well, and the 2 centre halves have won big headers, 2 full-backs have tucked in behind them and done a good job. And for me, the 2 wide players in the last 2 weeks, Graham Montgomery and Zane Banton have been probably difference in terms of the way we've defended, because they've defended really well in their areas, and then it's helped the fullbacks out. And as I say, when we do go forward, we've had a bit more quality in terms of Solomon playing in there, and Charlie Walker's dealt with the ball coming up to him quite well today, and I say with a little bit more luck we might have just nicked something here today.
You mentioned Solomon Sam Boo there. It took many eyes in that first half. He looked to be playing quite a long way forward, almost as a striker.
Yeah, I think we're trying to get bodies up to Charlie, which was right, because some of the balls, and we've seen it before, with a dry pitch here, and it was very bobbly, and balls were bouncing around. We were getting the ball up to Charlie, and it was coming back straight away too quickly. So we was trying to get Solomon to just push on a little bit and try and get in touch with Charlie. We probably ended up a little bit too far forward in terms of what we wanted, but we couldn't get hold of the ball in midfield because, as you said, we were always under pressure, and where last week we managed to get little balls into the holes and Solomon then could go and run at people and cause teams problems, we haven't really done that too well today in the first half. But as I say, the longer the game went on, we started to pick holes, started to pick passes, and we started to cause them problems.
2 clean sheets and an unsettled team for both games. This is getting easy, this management lark, Ian.
Well, it's obviously a lot easier when you don't concede goals, because you don't lose games. So as I said to you last week, it was tough. It was a tough period, but we knew what we was trying to do. We had to make some changes. And I'll say it again, we had players that were going through the motions. We had players that really didn't want to be at the football club, and we had to make those decisions. So we've got players now that want to be at the football club. We've got players here who want to work hard for the football club, and I think we've seen that in the last 2 results. But we've got to take it forward to Margate, because that's going to be a tough game next week, and if we think that we've made it because of 2 clean sheets against Dartford and Hungerford, we're a million miles away from where we need to be. But it's a start. We had to make a start somewhere, and the main thing now is we've got players that want to really work hard for the club. We want players that want to dig in and get themselves hurt at the end of the day, because we've conceded too many goals from people not defending properly, not doing their jobs properly, where now we work very hard as a group, as a team, and it's as you said earlier, to have an unsettled side is good, but we've also got good options on the bench there, with Sam coming on. Obviously we've got Sean Lucian coming on and Kieran coming on, but we've also got other players there that can change the game for us, so it's nice from that side of it.
Things look pretty dire going into the Dartford game, but now 2 encouraging results, and the rest of the season something to look forward to.
Hopefully so. I mean, I think we're trying to set a stall out, as we said. We've still got 5 games to go, and I won't discount that we could go and win all 5 games, and that's why in the last couple of minutes here, if we can go and nick a result, we can still get to 68 points. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough now, but 70 points would certainly put us in, maybe with a little bit of a shout, but you just don't know. But all we can keep doing is playing and trying to win games. The last 2 weeks has built a bit of confidence, and we've got to take that forward. But we mustn't undo the hard work what the players have done over the last couple of weeks, and the way they've come together as a team, and the way they've worked hard. And it wasn't tough coming here today with the M4 closed, and it was a long journey. It was an arduous journey, and we didn't turn up here till after 2 o'clock. And the players have gone out and put a really good shift in, and they thoroughly deserved the draw in the end. And it was a tough place to come. We knew that, but a little bit more quality in that final third, and I think we could have gone and nicked all 3 points.
Been another change to the squad since you last spoke with Jamie Cureton going back to Farnborough.
Yeah, it was just the fact is that Spencer had rang me. They've got, obviously 5 or 6 games to go, and then probably they'll have the playoffs as well, where I looked at what we had with young Patrick coming through that I wanted to probably have a look at over the next couple of weeks, and bring in Sam Merson and Charlie Walker, and also we've got Solomon and Kieran there as well. So we've got options, which is good. And I just didn't think that Jamie would probably get the game time with us changing our shape slightly over the last couple of weeks that he'd probably want. And Spencer Day came in, spoke to me, and we've let him go there for the last month of the season, which is probably good for us. It's good for Jamie, obviously, and it's obviously good for Farnborough. So hopefully he can get some game time over the last 5 or 6 weeks, and he'll come back sharp for us at the start of next season.
No place in the squad for Kwaku Lucan last couple of games?
No, it's just as I said before, it was one of those we was looking at, and I just feel with Junior, as we call him, he is very much a winger, but I think with us getting Zane in last week, it gave us a different options in terms of Zane and Sean and Lucian, and bringing Monty back from Hayes and Yedding. It's probably made the squad a little bit tougher for Junior to get into. So he's got to be patient. Hopefully in pre-season he'll come and show us what he can do. But after the Gosport game, as I said before, this simply wasn't good enough, and we had to make some important changes very quickly. Otherwise, our season would have just disintegrated into a farce, really. And hopefully, we can get a bit of pride back into the club now and show people that we do care. We do want to win games of football, and we want to try and keep this club as high as we can.
Ben Hurd's had an interesting first season with the club. He's played midfield, played full-back. He was sent off a couple of times, and then he got a representative on Wednesday, which is always nice for him and the club.
Yeah, it's great from the club's point of view that we've got players that can take the eye of other managers, which is what it was, and it's nice for Ben. Obviously, at his age now, I think he's 32 now, but it's great for him to get that honour. But he's been great for us. I knew when I signed him what I was getting. I knew a player could play right back, I know a player can play left back, and I knew he could play in midfield. So he's done all those jobs. As you say, it was just a loss that we lost him for the amount of time we did with the 2 silly bookings he got. I felt the booking at Paul was harsh, and that coincided with our really poor run, and it also coincided with him coming back now that we've improved in terms of where we was going back to a couple of weeks ago.
Throughout your career, Ian, when you look at all the places you played at, where does Bullpit Lane fit into that scheme of things?
I suppose from where I've been, I mean, obviously in terms of the conference, it's a club that's obviously trying to get to where it got to. You have to respect the facilities as they are now. I know they're trying very hard to get to the standard they need to get into the playoffs first and foremost, and then into the conference. So they've worked extremely hard here, and you have to give them all the credit that they've done. They've had a fantastic season. Their manager Bobby Wilkinson done a great job. So we have to come to these areas. This club and this ground will improve over the years. It's not as bad as what people think it is. I actually think it's quite a nice ground. There was a great atmosphere here today. But you've got to remember, I played in the United Counties League, and there's some horrible places there, going to Holbeach and places like that. So this place is $1 million to where I was probably 10, 12, 15 years ago.
Lovely, thanks so much, Ian. So Saints next in action next Saturday, the 8th of April, when Margate are visitors to Clarence Park, National League South. Kick-off is at 3 p.m.